was a dark and stormy night. And I was driving home. And I thought, hey, this would be a great time to make another journaling video with my little holder thing being all jacked up. It needs to be tightened so that it doesn't do that every time I turn. That's so funny. It's quite, well, it's late in the day, so it's getting dark, and also it's been rainy all day, and my wiper blades are making that noise. And I just had some thoughts today that really brought me joy. Just sort of thinking about things that have happened, questions I began asking myself at the end of August that really kind of flipped things for me. It flipped my perspective. And I'm just kind of coming to an awareness today that, like, the powerful impact that's had on me, because I have realized that I am enough. Like, really, just me being me. I don't have to do anything to qualify to be enough of a Marcy. I just already am entirely the Marcy I need to be. Also, I'm not perfect, and this is the beautiful thing. Fuck perfection, that's not even the point. What is true is that we are all, from the time we're born to the time we kick the bucket and head off to a new adventure, we are all in the process of living, learning, and growing and becoming whatever it is that we want to be. If we listen, if we find a way to align our brain with our heart and come away from living an ego-driven life, then that's where we come more and more into balance with who we really are. So I feel myself on a ramble. So I'm going to try and rein myself in here, because that's not what I came on here to say. Just like, oh my God, I'm enough. You are enough. You're enough. Like realizing what some of my natural, just born with it kind of talents I have. I've always been a singer, so that was like, for most of my life, that was predominantly, that was like one of the top things I would have said about myself. Like, what's your talent? I'm a singer. What I've come to realize recently is I've always been in a supportive kind of role in the work environment, even at home, in my family, among my friends. And there are just things about me, my perspective, my outlook. Like at work, if I am challenged with something, I've grown to a point in my life now where a lot of times if somebody goes, oh, now we have to deal with this, and I just kind of look at them like, of course we do. And then I'm just like, let's do it. Bring it, I ain't afraid of you. Go ahead, bring your challenge. Let's do this, because I've just been through some stuff. And that's what happened when I came through it. I just was like, oh, okay. Waves come. Sometimes they're big. Sometimes you're focused on this wave that's right in front of you, and you're like, all right, steady yourself. Here it comes. And then this sneaky wave comes from the right, or comes from the left, or comes from behind, and jacks you up. And then you're just flat on your back or flat on your face, and you're like, what the ever-loving hell was that? And I just have I can't always laugh at things. Yeah, there are some times when something happens, I'm just like, I'm human. I got all kinds of emotions. But I know what I'm realizing is simply who I am that's my gift. That's my gift to people in my sphere. And I'm not, oh my God. You know how people put deer in their yards, like they'll put fake deer in their yards? There are 2 does in somebody's front yard. They're just nibbling on the grass, they're happy. They're under the trees, so they're not getting rained on directly because those trees still had leaves. They're just happy little does, little deerses, just nibbling away, doing their deer thing, happy as can be. It startled me because I wasn't expecting it. And also at first, when my eyes, at first glance, I was like, my brain was like, oh, are those fake deer? And then, one of them moved and I was like, clearly not. Anyway, my reason for sharing this is not because I want to say, guys, I am a gift to you. Celebrate, oh people. You lucky ones. No, I'm like, so look, I've heard these kind of things for years. What I'm saying is, oh, I get it. Like, I see it. I understand now how it is that I'm enough. I'm not saying I'm enough like I am perfect now. I'm all done. And send me your questions and I'll tell you how to be enough. No. I am perfectly imperfect. I'm a human, living, learning, healing, and growing. Check. But I'm everything I need to be right here and now. And yes, I know there are situations that arise, and in retrospect, we're like, oh my God, I didn't know this. I didn't know how to do that. I didn't da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So obviously I wasn't enough. No, that's not what the message is. The message is clearly I wasn't enough. The message is that's where you were at the time and you did the best you can do, and that's all anybody can ask you to do. And that is part of life that keeps us humble. And that is keeping us humble, what comes of that? Hopefully understanding and compassion for others. Understanding and compassion for yourself. To not require and demand ridiculously unreasonable things of yourself. How can you do algebra if you never did see an algebra equation in your life? Nobody ever introduced that kind of math to you before. How can you just sit and do it immediately? No, you're going to need some practice. You're going to need an introduction, please and thank you. And you're probably going to need to learn some other things first before you get there, right? So anyway, I'm just realizing like, oh, I am enough. And like, this is a new realization for me. So I'm baby stepping it. Oh my God, there's a package on my front porch. I'm excited. Yes, I do struggle with ADHD, in case you didn't know. But yeah, like, oh, I'm enough. I'm enough. I don't need to try to become like, and saying that I'm enough doesn't mean, well, and now I can give up and I can just go be a couch potato and binge watch Netflix all day long. No, I'm not dead. I have goals. I have other things. I have interests, you know. I'm enough. Who I am at my core is enough, is what I'm saying. I'm seeing it. Like, there are things about me that have always been about me. And those things have just become more and more streamlined, or they've matured in me, or they've become the new and improved. But it's still the same stuff that was always there. It's just grown. It's become better. You know, like, if you have a little tree, you move into a new house and you got this little fruit tree in your backyard. It's a little fruit tree. Is it going to be totally loaded with fruit, you know, when it's still just a few years old? No. Are you trying to kill it? You know, it's going to produce what it can support with its little self. Same with humans. You know, we ask way too fucking much of ourselves and of each other. So this is a huge thing for me. And I'm just kind of like, sweet. And also, I've realized that there are things I put on my vision board years ago and they've come to pass. And not magically. I've had to do things to help that along, but also the universe and God or whatever, source, energy has helped that along. Together, we are powerful. So anyway, my point of bringing that up is that what is the point of me bringing that up? Sorry, now that I'm at home, I'm just like, you know, distracted by things. And I'm going to stop.